Oh, a little false start there on the opening tip. But it is controlled by Minnesota.
Leonard Miller with a nice find. Gave Rob Dillingham an early bucket in transition, and that's dangerous for a guy like Rob. But he gets going early with an easy one. It doesn't take much to start a fire.
A.J. Griffin comes right back to tie it.
Rob has been a scorer his entire time. Katie knows a little more about that.
Yeah, but you know what I love most, guys, is when he was texting Mike Conley after he was drafted. We both know, all of us, that Minnesota's calling card is their defense, and if Rob Dillingham's going to make an impact, he's going to have to be able to get it done on both ends.
Absolutely, Katie. And when you consider that,
to add to the mix. Josh not coming through.
And Josh Minot not giving.
Yeah, Shepard only one field goal attempt right now.
And you see switching out, not allowing him to get anything. Josh Minot doing the job defensively.
Rips him. Oh, that was nice. Living at the rim so far. 8-0 run by the T-Wolves, and they lead at 12-4.
But that's always a call. When you're a bigger guy, I'm not going to call Minot a big because he's not a big. But a bigger guy, when you rip a guard and go down and dunk it, you get extra points for that.
Tremendous bounce pass there by Reed Shepard.
He said the point guard position is so hard, especially for young rookies entering the league. But Shepard has made it look seamless. He's a high IQ guy, so his ability to see and think the game allows him to play with a calmness.
Basketball family. And it's really cool to see those family wishes and dreams come to fruition. And how about Dillingham there with that look to the baseline? You know, Knicks makes it a 19-11 game. Timberwolves just 8 of 20 from the floor, but they've got an 8-point advantage because the Rockets are 4 for 12. Make that 5 for 13.
Even though he's playing fast, everything is under control.
Samuels dials one in on the assist from Reed Shepard.
It's almost difficult to watch any Villanova player, as Jermaine Samuels is, that's not with the Knicks. He may be the last piece from the national championship team that's not on the Knicks roster.
Yeah. From a very precarious vantage point.
You know, I made the mistake of running back. Where I was talking about before, you got to understand who you chase.
Yes. Tyrone Hill?
Oh, yeah.
At the buzzer. How about this first quarter by the Timberwolves? And into the quarter on an 8-0 run.
And these young men for the Timberwolves have gotten the message to get on the floor. You're going to have to defend. That is why the reason. And Naz Reid on Joker. That's when they were able to have success.
Dillingham.
Have a lot of depth on this roster now, especially bringing in a lot of young guys. But you get a lot of credit as well because I don't think as many people realize that when Chris Finch
and that type of thing, and all I tried to do was exactly what he had been doing, because at the end of the day, the talent, you just saw who they put up on there as far as our depth and all that. You can have two young guys that come in and should be able to contribute some minutes.
Nice dive to the basket there by Edwards. ESPN2 with the Trailblazers and the Hornets at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific. Nice drive there by Williams. That young players have to deal with when they make the transition to the NBA is the consistency. Sure, you can do it for 2 games, 3 games. Can you do it for 6 or 7 games in a row? The great players can. Everyone has to learn how to do it.
Absolutely. Daishen Nix knocking down the 3. And we also have to mention this is the first game that Reed has had to play without last year's Summer League most valuable player, Cam Whitmore, who was with him in those first 3 games, who gave him that security blanket.
More aggressive since then, because when he's a scoring threat, he says it opens up opportunities for his teammates.
Shepard knocks down a second straight bucket from 3-point range. So obviously trying to adjust to a new role will take your toll on your game at certain points.
It absolutely will.
That's the struggle for right now for Rob Dillingham. Nix has been in the space the entire game. Shepard again, this time off the drive.
It used to be just the point guard that really had to be a guy that's talking. Now it's got to be everyone. It's got to be your big man who commands the defense from behind everyone. As N'Faly Dante comes with the tip on.
He plays. He loves his aggressiveness. He's one of those guys you can just throw out on the court and he just makes stuff happen. As does his teammate. And you know what?
Nice find.
And after the Rockets came back to tie the game, the T-Wolves come back with
that, end up maybe costing his team a championship that year. Draymond had a 30-piece in the finals against Bron and the Cavaliers in that series.
But for Draymond to play himself into that role for the Golden State Warriors, where he could be a guy that... Kalsher, contested and blocked by Reed Sheppard. Falls right into the hands. Time in the NBA, steals and blocks were not recorded as official stats.
Right.
You can make changes. The three-point line didn't exist. Did you go back and measure where guys were? No. Dillingham. It was risk-reward. The way the game has evolved now, anybody can make one.
Okay. My man Trevor Kill stepping up, knocking down.
Steph Curry, James Harden, everyone else who can shoot it.
Yep.
Well, good thing we're not running the league.
Very true. The league is in good hands right now with the people that are running it.
Adam
Shout
Silver
out to Adam.
and whom I'm blanking, Joe Mazzulla. It was a Celtics conversation, and Billy's like, yo, man, what are you doing?
Right.
You literally said, point difference.
But still a lot to be played for, especially for the young players on the floor.
Terrence Shannon Jr. Dillingham lets it fly. Look, shooters are going to shoot.
Short memory.
The Rockets come away with the bucket. Sheppard, baseline pull-up. Jumper so pure.
Absolutely, and I love the fact.
Katie, what was your record, volleyball, Kentucky versus?
Oh, don't you start.
Oh, wait a minute.
1-3 against Kentucky.
It was a thing, okay. I didn't know.
Say what, that rivalry will forever burn between those two schools. Less than an hour away from each other.
Yeah. Right. And then Kentucky winning championships, but Louisville being the team right down the road. And then Rick Pitino eventually ends up going to Louisville. That was a huge shock to the Commonwealth. Wins a national championship there with the Cardinals. Yeah, North Carolina and Duke gets a lot of attention because they're much closer. But in terms of vitriol between the two, nothing beats Louisville and Kentucky.
So you were there, you said 90 to 94?
As a student, yes.
Yeah.
And they win a championship in his very first year, led by Jeff Sheppard, who was the MVP of that Final Four.
Talented group. Let me ask you this. Do you remember the name of the player for Kentucky that my guy Christian Laettner accidentally stepped on his chest?
One, it wasn't an accident. And Aminu Timberlake was a friend of mine.
Those two teams that are already 4-0 are like plus 15 in their point differential. Those teams have already established they're going to be in the mix. I'm arguing with Dave Freed again. And I understand what Dave is saying is from the standpoint that the foul would have had to have been called on. They got it right. But the question was, who was the foul called on from the beginning?
My not for three.
Match there on the interior for Orlando Robinson.
That was a great find by Nate Williams, too. Dillingham setting him up. He's got friends in high places.
With a game-high 21st point of the game.
He's got 10 boards. He got 4 assists. Got 4 steals. Doing a little bit of everything. With the block, Sheppard strips his former teammate Dillingham. And the Rockets going the other way. Down 9, less than 2 to play.
Nice touch by Reed Sheppard getting into the lane. Normally I only call them floaters when they miss.
Dillingham on the take. And the Rockets are out of time here. Knicks.
Point differential matters.
Up ahead.
In a normal
Reed Sheppard's not going to. There's your ball game. The Timberwolves keep their playoff hopes alive with a 10-point win over the Rockets.